Las Vegas doesn't merely exist under neon lights, it flourishes in them. On the night of Saturday, May 31st, 2025, those lights directed their brilliance toward Allegiant Stadium, shining brighter and louder than ever. The city, already a vibrant mix of extravagance, chaos and spectacle, now had an even greater attraction: Kendrick Lamar and SZA's Grand National Tour. By the time the doors opened at 5 p.m., lines of eager fans snaked around the stadium, drawn together by a shared excitement. This was more than just another concert stop. It was a cultural milestone, a powerful convergence of artistry, emotion, and creative collaboration. Las Vegas had witnessed many events, but nothing quite like this. Welcome to celebrity rap life, where the red carpets never roll up and the spotlight never fades. The rewards are legendary. Because in celebrity rap life, every downfall can become a comeback, and every headline tells a deeper story. Today, we're diving into a world where fame meets fire and headlines write themselves. At the heart of the evening were two artists at the peak of their careers. Kendrick Lamar, riding high on the success of his sixth studio album GNX, had once again reinvented himself, this time into a colder, more strategic persona, sharpened by years of public silence and calculated statements. SZA, riding the wave of her SOS Deluxe, Lana edition, had evolved from a vulnerable dreamer into a symbol of emotional clarity, strength, and transformation. Together, they weren't just performing, they were creating an entire world, with Las Vegas serving as its epicenter for one night only. The night kicked off with DJ Mustard, who has far surpassed his initial reputation. With deep roots in West Coast hip-hop and a diverse portfolio spanning various genres over the past decade, Mustard transformed the stage into a vibrant introduction to what was ahead. Mixing tracks he produced for artists like YG and Ty Dolla $ign, and even teasing unreleased material, he knew his role: to not just warm up the audience but to set it ablaze. By the end of his set, the floor of Allegiant Stadium was buzzing with excitement. Then came the first dramatic beat drop of the night. The lights went out. A hush fell over the crowd. When they flickered back on, it was Kendrick. No frills, no excess, just the artist and his message. Clad in muted camouflage, with his head down and fists clenched, Kendrick Lamar stepped onto a stage that resembled a military setup more than a concert venue. His opening lines struck with precision as he launched into The Heart Part 6, letting each word resonate throughout the stadium like a powerful sermon. His movements synchronized with dancers in tactical attire, their choreography tight, calculated, and intense. He followed with Euphoria, a fiery response track that the audience sang back word for word, as if they too had something to express. The energy wasn't just hype, it was surgical, almost ritualistic. This concert didn't rely on nostalgia or easy crowd pleasers. Kendrick's performance drew heavily from GNX, his most intricate and divisive album to date. Songs like Gloria and Luther blended innovative sound design with profound lyrics, creating an experience that felt beyond genre and industry norms. During Luther, the stage transformed into a mirror-filled cathedral, reflecting both Kendrick and the audience, a visual metaphor that needed no explanation. By the time he performed Not Like Us, the unofficial anthem of his rivalry with Drake, the crowd was no longer just spectators, they were fully engaged. However, just as the energy reached its peak, the lights dimmed once more. A gentle breeze swept across the stage, and from behind a curtain of vines and golden light, SZA appeared, contrasting and complementing Kendrick's intensity. While Kendrick's stage was commanding, SZA's was a dreamlike realm. Her environment felt vibrant, filled with greenery, swaying branches, and mist rising from the ground. She entered on a swing made of leaves, her soft vocals beginning with PSA, her airy tone weaving through the audience like incense smoke. Accompanied by a band in earthy colors and backup dancers whose movements echoed the sounds of nature, SZA created a sanctuary amidst the chaos. Her performance unfolded like a heartfelt confession. Snooze drifted through the stadium like a wistful sigh, while Kill Bill was delivered with a playful smirk. The audience didn't just sing along, they leaned in, hanging on her every word as if deciphering the meanings within her songs. She performed Saturn and Ghost in the Machine, touched on Low, and then shifted the mood with a captivating medley of Drew Barrymore, Normal Girl, and F2F, allowing each track to flow seamlessly into the next like a stream of consciousness. Then came the first moment of crossover, where their worlds collided. Kendrick returned during All the Stars, his verse slicing through SZA's ethereal chorus like sunlight piercing through fog. The crowd erupted, not just for the music, but for the palpable chemistry between them. There was a sense of reverence in how they interacted on stage. This wasn't a forced collaboration. It was two artists sharing the space, supporting each other, and challenging one another in real time. They continued with Doves in the Wind and Love Galore, revealing that this was more than just a performance. It was a narrative experience. Themes of power, desire, mistrust, and redemption wove through their exchanges like dialogue in a film. SZA was no longer merely the emotional counterpart. She became a powerful presence, pushing Kendrick out of his own thoughts and into the moment. After a brief yet impactful joint performance, Kendrick Lamar stepped back to continue his solo set, diving even deeper into his artistry. King Kunta ignited a wave of energy, with the crowd moving in unison, shaking the very structure of the stadium. The powerful tracks, DNA and Humble, followed, their live drum layers making the bass feel like a second heartbeat. He then slowed the pace with Love and Pride, allowing moments of vulnerability to shine through. During All Right, he raised his fist high, prompting thousands of fans to do the same, a moment of unity that felt both political and deeply personal. Kendrick's ability to command a stadium with silence is as impactful as his lyrics. At one point, he stood completely still for nearly 30 seconds before starting Feel, his voice slightly trembling, not from exhaustion, but from restraint. This was not mere performance, it was raw expression. SZA returned shortly after for her second set, and the atmosphere shifted. It was later in the evening, the lights dimmer, and the songs more intimate. She opened with Good Days, her voice rising above a sea of phone lights that flickered like digital fireflies. She continued with Blind and a stripped-down rendition of I Hate You, leaving the audience breathless. However, the highlight was Used. It wasn't just the song itself, but the way she performed it. Perched on the edge of the stage with her legs dangling, she sang directly to the front row as if no one else were present. In those moments, the crowd of 60,000 became a single, collective witness to something deeply vulnerable. Just when it seemed the show might conclude softly, both artists returned for a final act. Clad in black and silhouetted against a backdrop of fire effects and booming drums, Kendrick and SZA launched into Luther together. The stadium vibrated with energy, felt in the chest and bones of everyone present. It wasn't about who delivered the better verse, it was about how harmoniously their energies intertwined, reflecting the journey they had taken over the past 2.5 hours. When it concluded, there was no encore, just silence followed by thunderous applause. Outside the stadium, the city resumed its usual pace. Casino sounds, car horns, and laughter filled the air. But for those inside Allegiant that night, Las Vegas felt transformed. Something remarkable had occurred, difficult to put into words. The Grand National Tour was not merely a concert, it was a vision of what stadium shows could evolve into, part confession, part revolution, part fever dream. Kendrick Lamar not only showcased his lyrical prowess but also redefined it. He transformed the stage into a space for depth and meaning, presenting complex ideas and questions that lack straightforward answers. Each song from GNX carried significance, from the haunting beauty of Euphoria to the soulful yearning of Gloria. He commanded the audience's attention with the authority of a general and the sensitivity of a poet, without resorting to gimmicks or pandering. It was simply refined, intentional artistry. In contrast, SZA offered a space for emotional expression. Her voice, at times gentle and at other times powerful, wove together every aspect of her performance. She explored themes of heartbreak, self-esteem, anger, and peace as if they were chapters in a book, and her visuals served as integral storytelling elements rather than mere background. Whether she was moving through digital landscapes or standing alone in a spotlight, she captivated the entire audience. The significance of the Grand National Tour lies in its refusal to merely rely on spectacle. It goes beyond that. It encourages the audience to reflect inwardly while they gaze at the LED screens and fireworks. This performance not only entertains but also provokes thought, celebrates, mourns, and offers healing. On May 31, 2025, Allegiant Stadium became more than just a concert venue. It transformed into a place of cultural connection. Perhaps that's what makes it so memorable. In a city where illusion reigns and extravagance is the norm, Kendrick and SZA provided something entirely different: clarity. For one night, the glitz diminished and the noise quieted. What remained was pure truth, in the lyrics, in the movements, and in the silence. For those who attended, that truth will resonate long after the event has ended. This story is far from over, and the truth is still unfolding. I want to hear what you think. Drop your take in the comments. And if you don't want to miss the next twist, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss a second of what's coming next.